Hello everyone, this is your buddy Eagle speaking again, and in this video I made you a little presentation because you're awesome regarding eBay Cassini. How eBay's search algorithm ranks your items in search results. So historically eBay would rank you based on the number of views you have and the number of sales you had. So what you would do as a seller, you'd put an item, for example, a remote controller, and you would try to put inside the title as many broad keywords as you could. So you would put, let's say, remote controller, Samsung TV, and then something like electronics, home, consumer, so on. That way you would have a lot of eyeballs on your listing because many people type in such broad keywords, but rarely actually do they want to buy specifically a remote controller. It can be 10,000 other items that they can buy when they type that. But nevertheless, you would get a lot of traffic and get some sales out of it. Now, your sales conversion rate would probably be very low. Let's say out of 1,000 views or clicks, you would get 1, 2, or 3 sales. However, if you had enough items and if your keywords were broad, you would get a lot of traffic, so this would kind of make it worth it to sell on eBay. However, gradually eBay came to the realization that most people are not getting the best buying experience when they try to search for something specific. They receive a bunch of results that are not relevant to what they were looking for. And so they came up with an idea to have another more complicated algorithm which would suit their needs more, so that would people, when they try to search for something, receive the most specific relevant results to what they're looking for. And this is how eBay's Cassini engine was born. So in 2013, Cassini was introduced. And you're probably asking, so how does it work? How does the algorithm know what listings it should put up and what listings it should put lower in the search results? And the answer is nobody knows, not even eBay themselves. Only the people who actually programmed the eBay Cassini engine know what it includes and what are the criteria. However, even senior account managers and executives don't really know and don't have access to what it consists of. However, we do have a few ways of kind of reverse engineering the formula or the algorithm, and this is based on both what eBay explicitly says that they rank for, and this is information that you can get by just Googling eBay Cassini, and also by our own trial and error experience and 8, 9, 10 years of being eBay sellers, both me as a 7-figure seller and other colleagues of mine who sold even more than that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what criteria eBay Cassini includes when it ranks your item in the search results. So the first and most important parameter is your title. So as we said before, if in the past you would try to catch as many broad keywords inside your title and get as many eyeballs as possible, today it's different. Today you want your title to be much more specific and to have relevant and related keywords that describe your item. So if before, let's say, you would sell a pair of shoes of New Balance, some of you maybe would find it smart to also include not Nike or not Puma. And that way people will be searching for something else, let's say Puma shoes, but they would see your item and maybe change their mind and actually buy your New Balance shoes. Today, eBay recognizes that this gives a very poor buying experience to the buyers, essentially. And so what you would try to do is never put some competition names or maybe try to put only sold here or stuff like that. You would try to be very specific. Also try to use the whole 80 characters that eBay has given to you in the title box. Second is price. Price has always been a very important parameter. And we don't have complete control over it because obviously we want to make profit and we have our given price from our supplier. However, one thing you could do is start with a new item by putting it with zero profit. This way you would be ranking higher and you would have a sale. Once you have your first sale, put the price up. And this way gradually you can go to your desired profit, so that already you have some purchase history, which we will discuss in a second. And also you're starting to gain some profit and not selling it for a loss. So this brings us to purchase history, which is also very important. eBay Cassini promotes you more when you have purchase history rather than no purchase history. However, it's better not to have purchase history than to have something that was only sold ages ago. So if you have a listing that didn't have any sales in the past, let's say 45 or 60 days, and maybe had a sale 65 days ago and you're keeping it because it has its purchase history, it would be wiser to actually end this listing and list a new one for the same item. And this way you would rank higher, both because eBay promotes new items that were listed in the 24 hours before higher, and also because it's better to be without purchase history than with an item that was sold only, let's say, 60 something days ago. Because eBay figures out that your item is probably not very hot if it wasn't sold in the last 1 month or 45 days. Maybe it was a seasonal item and so on. Item specifics. eBay does that for a couple of reasons. First of all, they want you to provide more information for the buyer. Again, better buyer experience. They also have this because they want data to be as structured as possible. They're always trying to enact a catalog. They want to be a bit like Amazon. They usually fail miserably, but this time they're trying to do it again. So it's a wise idea to actually include good item specifics, because it also is taken into account in search results. Also, people use filters on the left side of eBay, and with item specifics it is easier for people to filter out items that are not relevant and see the items that are. Good and original images. You maybe noticed that many dropshippers just take images from their source and copy them inside their listing. And if you do it for 5 or 10 instances, that's okay. But as a buyer, when you're looking up an item and see 20, 30 or 50 results with the exact same image, it wouldn't make for a very positive buying experience. So eBay recognizes that. And this is why it's better to always have original images. You want to stand out from the competition, both in the eyes of the customer, but also because eBay has in its algorithm a way to see if you have a new image that wasn't appearing in the results before or not. And you can do that by either taking an alternative image from your source or Googling an image, or if you believe strongly that your item will be a hot seller, you would actually go ahead and buy it and even take a photo of it and then return it if you don't need it. But good and original images are being highly appreciated by eBay Cassini. Number of views. Now, both number of views and number of watchers are a double-edged sword. What I mean by that is that you obviously want a lot of views and a lot of watchers. But if you don't have the purchase history or the sales to back it up, it would actually hurt you. Because if eBay sees that many people look at your item and many watchers are interested in it, but don't actually go ahead and buy, they suspect that you probably have a problem with this item. It's either too expensive, or it's actually not something that people, after reading your description, are looking for, or any other reason that might prevent them from buying it. So if you have a lot of views, that's good, but usually what you would want to do is have sales to back it up. Same goes with watchers. And conversion rate is kind of the product of all of this. So it means number of sales divided by number of views. So the higher conversion rate, the better, you will rank higher, and the opposite is also true. Age of listing. We discussed about it shortly before, but I'll mention it again and elaborate. eBay will rank you higher in the first 24 hours of the listing's existence. So when new listings get a boost, eBay does that because it wants to get a feel of what the reaction would be from buyers. So even if your listing naturally should be lower in the search results, it still wants to determine if it's a hot item, if it has potential. So it will be ranked higher. And if you're smart enough to make your title stand out, your images original and very enticing, and the description very converting, you will keep that new position, and maybe even eBay rank you higher when you add to it some purchase history, maybe even some item specifics. So bear that in mind. And the opposite is also true. If you have a listing that didn't sell in the last 30, 45, or even 60 days, eBay will rank you lower and lower because in their eyes, you're just putting something that doesn't add to the buyer experience, and as a result of that, nobody wants to buy it. So it's better to delete listings that are not being sold than to keep them alive for the rare chance that somebody will actually buy it. Okay, so we have a few more that are important. And again, this is by no way an exhaustive list of all the criteria. There are a few dozens or even hundreds of different parameters that come to play inside Cassini's search engine. But these are the most important ones. And already with these ones, I'm sure you already have some ideas in your head about how to improve your rankings. Okay, mobile friendly. In the past decade, or especially 5 years, whereas smartphones became something very, very commonly used, even in emerging economies like India, many purchases are made from mobile, and eBay recognizes that. And this is why they want your description to be mobile friendly. Luckily, only the description has to be mobile friendly. Everything else will be automatically mobile friendly because the images are responsive because they're stored on eBay or displayed on eBay. The price doesn't have to do anything with that. It's only the description that you have to pay attention, that it doesn't have any JavaScript, it doesn't have anything regarded as active content. And for that you have many templates that you can use. You can use the templates inside your listing software if you use one, or you can buy some templates. Just make sure that they are mobile friendly and they do not have any active content. It also affects the load time of the item. So just as Google does, when your item on eBay is taking a lot of time to load, it makes a very bad buying experience. And eBay will rank your item lower, and rightly so. Free shipping and shipping speed. Simply put, if you use free shipping instead of charging for shipping, you will rank higher. And the faster the shipping you offer, the higher you rank as well. So if you offer expedited shipping for free, it would be the optimal solution for you. And if you contrast that with someone who has the same price, but on top of that charges shipping and also gives economy shipping that takes 2 weeks to arrive, you would have a very, very big advantage. Return policy. eBay has a 14, 30, and 60-day return policy. They're soon to ditch the 14 days because it's not enough for buyers to decide they don't want the item. So the longer return policy you have, the better. Response time. This is simply the response time it takes you to respond to buyer inquiries or to questions or anything that comes to your inbox. It does include messages from Resolution Center or doing the right things that you have to do inside the resolution cases, responding to cases, and so on. Feedback rate and feedback score. Now, I must say that your total feedback score, meaning let's say you have 10 feedbacks or 1,000 feedbacks, doesn't play as high role as the feedback rate. If you have a 99 or higher feedback rate, you will be regarded as a good seller and someone who has a good buying experience. Once you go below 98%, eBay will have some punishments. And one of them is they might take your power seller status away, and some problems with your store subscription and so on. So please keep in mind that you want to have a good feedback rate and as higher feedback score as possible. Store conversion rate. So we talked about the conversion rate of a particular listing. eBay takes into account also the conversion rate of your store in total. So again, if you have listings that are poor performers, it's better to delete them. Not only because they will not sell, most likely, but also because it affects the other listings in your store. Store activity. This means any new listings that you put or listings that you remove, because that way eBay sees that you're a serious seller that always tries to renew their stock and to put some new and interesting items for the buyers to see. Number of listings. Basically, the less listings you have, the more promoted you are. Many dropshippers will notice that the more items you put, let's say you put 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 items, you'll notice a steep decline at some point. It comes at several levels. The most strong one is when you reach 10,000 items. When you put more than 10,000 items, eBay will very drastically lower the number of impressions your listings get, and naturally you will have less sales. So a good idea would be to, once you reach 10,000 items, to stop listing more and more items and rather try to optimize the existing items or have zero net new items. What I mean by that is that you maybe add 300 more items, but you also have to delete other old 300 listings so that you stay on or below 10,000. And the last one for our video here is traffic from outside. eBay doesn't want you to take customers from eBay to your own site or to another place outside of them. But they do really appreciate when you do the opposite. When you put traffic inside your listings from other sources, let's say from Facebook or from your email list and so on. And they can really have an easy way to determine where the traffic comes from because they have the links from their own platform and they have people who are entering the listings from outside. So once they see a lot of traffic from outside, they will have your listing listed higher in the search results. And by the way, the conversion rate in this case can be slightly lower. They are more forgiving when traffic from outside doesn't convert. They're more concerned about traffic from inside eBay when it doesn't convert, and then you have a negative effect. But traffic from outside, you can put a lot of clicks and a lot of views from outside and you'll be okay. Okay, and this does it for this video. This is probably the longest one that I did in a while. Hopefully I gave you some useful information that you can work by and start revising your strategy or your listings to make sure that you are compatible with eBay Cassini and that your listings are optimized to appear as high on eBay search results as possible. Thank you very much and see you in the next video. Bye bye.